Welcome back to the Back in Time channel. According to reports at RadarOnline.com, Peter Thomas is being sued at his Miami restaurant location with an eviction. For those of you unfamiliar with who Peter Thomas is, he is also the ex-husband of Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey, who is also a former model. Now, according to the court documents obtained by RadarOnline.com, Bar1 Miami Beach, which Peter has run since 2019, was hit with a lawsuit by Bentley Bay Retail LLC. In the complaint, Bentley Bay Retail said it is the landlord of the property where Bar1 is located. Per the filing, the company said it entered into a commercial lease agreement with Thomas in 2018. The company also said that Thomas was previously sued for eviction over unpaid payments. However, the parties worked out a deal in 2020 where Bailey's ex-husband agreed to pay off any outstanding debts. Now, there's a copy of the settlement that shows Bar1 agreed to pay $270K to resolve all issues. Per the settlement, Bentley Bay Retail said Thomas' company agreed if any checks were returned for insufficient funds, the deal would be void and Bar1 would have to leave. However, in the suit, the company said Thomas submitted various payments that were returned for insufficient funds in the month of July, August, September, and October of 2022 and of March 2023. Bentley Bay Retail is claiming that Thomas owes them a total of $422K in rent, outstanding costs, utility charges, and sales taxes. The suit said Thomas was notified in October of 2022 that he was in default. This new lawsuit was filed the same month. However, the company said the case was delayed after Thomas began negotiation talks. The company said the negotiations were unsuccessful and now it wants Bar1 out of the location immediately. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, Thomas was sued personally in another recent lawsuit over another restaurant he had planned to open. In 2022, a company called DT Retail sued One Society over unpaid rent. Thomas argued the company had breached the lease but failing to provide him adequate access to the location. The judge ended up siding with the landlord and ordered One Society to hand over the keys. Okay, so after hearing what Radar Online had to report on this case involving Peter Thomas, I must say that although it's reported by Radar Online, this is still alleged because I do not have hard copies of the documents and I have not seen it for myself. With that being said, I'm going to give my thoughts, which is also my opinion, and I'm going to be very honest doing it. I feel like this is a situation, if true, that is unfortunate for two reasons for Peter. It's unfortunate for him business-wise, and it's unfortunate for him character-wise. Now, since the very beginning or early days of Roar, when we were introduced to Cynthia Bailey and Peter Thomas, and his businesses practices, it has always been this surrounding issue of him not making the best business decisions. Every time you see the show, every other season, it's like he's having a lot of financial issues with his restaurants, in particular Bar1. There's been countless amount of times where they have talked about the location being closed down or another location being rebuilt. It's just was this whole revolving idea, whole image put around Peter saying that, oh, he's not a good businessman, so he's using up Cynthia's money and he's making bad deals and putting them in a bad situation financially. Now, while I'm no successful restaurant business owner or anything like that, or in the field for that matter, I do know that as a business person, you do not want the stain or have a reputation of not making the best business practices or decisions. Now, I'm not saying that business deals can't go wrong, because they can. You can make bad business decisions. It happens. But when it's something that's consistent and when it's something that precedes you, it's not a good look. This has been stuck with Peter since his days of Roar, to the point where the ladies would have their back and forth at reunion that they were literally able to use it as ammunition against his ex-wife Cynthia Bailey.
Win a case. Yeah. Well, honey, you stay out of a case because you got 24 cases in Fulton right now. Your husband does. Oh, yeah, you got 24. Cynthia Bailey doesn't have anything. Peter does that.
So to have that stain on your name, on your business name, your brand, whatever you consider it to may be, it's embarrassing. It also has to be something that's very exhausting for Peter as well, because he went off in the past on Fox Soul host Claudia Jordan, Funky Dineva, and Al Reynolds for speaking on his financial woes. It was about something along the line of the subject of his employees at Bar1 not being able to cash their checks. So go ahead and check out a little bit of this footage.
Okay, someone just called me and tell me about a story that's on Fox Soul. And they said the people that's talking about you, Peter, is people that call you friend. All right, so I don't know what Fox Soul is, so I Googled it and I went and looked. And I saw Hal Reynolds, which has my phone number, Claudia Jordan, which has my phone number, and Funky Diva, which has my phone number, and come to the restaurant probably once or twice a month. Okay, it's talking about me and my financial woes. Okay, so I don't know if it is that they need ratings. I don't know if it is that they need followers, okay, to keep that program afloat. I never went there. But anyway, none of them call me. But you're talking about me like a dog without even verifying any validity to the story that got out there. Okay, it's how the devil work, because I'm about to open a restaurant in Baltimore next month. Let's be real. None of y'all are journalists. And y'all ain't no real fucking friends. Because if y'all were, y'all would have called and said, yo, Peter, does anybody at Bar1 Miami Beach have problem cashing their check? And the answer would be no. The employees would have jumped all over their shit if they wasn't able to cash their check. I promise you they would. But everybody at Bar1 Miami Beach does so well. All right, and when them servers are going to go cash their $1,500, $2,000 check, okay, because they get paid so well, okay, all right, they have no issue cashing their fucking check. How about that? Okay, so really do some research before y'all start running your fucking mouth, okay, all right, and slandering the person name, Al Reynolds, Claudia Jordan, and Funky motherfucking Diva, okay, because the shit that y'all are saying is fucked up, okay? But before y'all start talking shit about people can't cash their check, please verify that shit.
So it's obvious as a businessman, this is a sore, sensitive spot for Peter, because things like this are hard to fight against. You can't just wave your hand like a magic wand and expect them to disappear. And also, the video footage that I just played you was just a little bit, I believe, over a year ago. So this was recent. And not to mention, in that, he also mentioned a new location that he was about to open. So I wonder if that was the same location that was spoken on in the article. Because if you can remember, in Radar Online, they reported that One Society, which was the name of the bar that he was trying to open, had broken the lease agreement because the rent wasn't paid. And so I wonder if that's the same bar that he's talking about, or location that he's talking about in that video that he was going to open. Either way it go, it's not a good look. And he talks about how you do research and how people always get paid and stuff. Well, recently, one of his former employees, I believe she was a manager, don't quote me, I believe it was at Bar1, where she did an interview with Tasha K, who is a huge YouTuber, saying that Peter was very shady with his business practices, and that employees weren't getting paid, and that it was a lot of stealing and things going on, a lot of fraudulent activities going on. And he had to take to his social media to combat all those allegations that she was throwing at him. And he basically saying that she was locked up for scamming herself. So I'm gonna play it on this screen so you can see, but these are just examples of people who had chimed in under his comments and talked about how they were former employees and they never got paid from his establishment. So Where there's smoke, there must be fire. That is the reason that I believe it's unfortunate for him as business practices. I believe it's unfortunate for character-wise, because if this is what he's doing to his employees, people coming to work, spending hours a day busting their behind to make a living for their livelihood. This is their livelihood. A lot of people spend a lot of time away from their kids, away from home, from their families, and by the time they get off working long hours, they don't have the energy to cook meals. They don't have the energy to help their kids with their homework. Half of the kids probably already sound asleep, or maybe their spouse is not home when they get there. They miss each other because they both have to work, or maybe they have to deal with the hassle of paying the babysitter, or even putting in overtime to make sure that they're able to even afford proper childcare services. Now, if you're someone who's never worked in the restaurant industry before, let me tell you, it is no joke. Those customers can be very frustrating, they can be very rude, and it can just be really hectic and stressful all around. And so at the end of the day, people are ready to receive their tips and go home, and on payday you expect to get paid. If he's not taking any of these things into consideration, that's a huge character flaw. Not to mention, it's just morally wrong. You have to pay people for the services. The services of their labor is what in exchange for the payment. So if you're not paying people what they are due or what they're entitled to, then you have serious issues. Again, I'm not saying that none of these allegations are true. I'm just saying that there's a lot of information out there that backs up these claims that are being thrown out there, or that just keeps randomly surfacing in front of us. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Do you think that Peter is practicing bad business decisions, or do you think he have a history of bad business decisions? What do you think about random individuals or random information that keeps coming to the surface about him not paying his employees, or not paying his rent, or not honoring contracts or agreements? Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe here with us at Back in Time. But until next time.
Don't you feel tough? Yeah! Don't you feel strong? Yeah! Don't you feel like going home? Sure! Yeah! Then get the hell out of my apartment.